Well, we were talking about a series that could be close. The first map definitely was a fun one, but in the end, it is going to be Refrag to be taking MESO Millionaire's map pick off of them, maybe making the series not as close as going on forward. I don't know, but this was a really, really fun one to be kicking off our lower bracket here, Vans. I mean, looking at these teams, MESO Millionaires putting up a fight at the beginning. I mean, some of these rounds were awesome, but Refrag, I mean, they can frag out.
Not gonna lie, they had it at the first half, right? Until we actually switched sides. And unfortunately, yes, I like to say it did look like there was a great plan on the attack side for MESO's Millionaires. So it was slightly different from what we've seen on different days. But to what Athena was saying, where MESO's Millionaires should be the one that's going to be a little bit more aggressive versus a team like Refrag that should be a little bit more prepared. It feels like we almost saw the opposite, because MESO's were actually a lot quicker on their attack side, and they were way more aggressive in these post plant scenarios. And it turned out to be very, very good post plants on their side. But when we got into the defensive side, it just felt really that they were lacking map control. They were playing way too passive on the side of MESO's Millionaires, where they couldn't get the best value out of the op for Bunny Bee. Yes, of course, she popped off with the operator as soon as she got it, but overall, to have a game plan to funnel players into the operator was never really there for MESO's.
Yeah, I feel like just overall, Refrag, they've had such a good understanding of how they want to play around this map, and they absolutely abused the fact that MESO's just wasn't taking any map control. It's exactly what you said. They were doing a really good job on their attack side, getting into those close plants 100%, but they just couldn't bring that forward into their defense. I felt like maybe we could see a fragment of them just pushing out, making sure they can take as much map space as they could, but we didn't see it. And that resulted in RF actually getting a lot of the rotations caught off guard towards that mid area of the map. Felt like constantly they were just getting picked off, free kills by MLO, by their lurker, just going off every single time. It just felt a little bit rough to watch, and just felt like a little less clean than what we expected based on their attack side.
Yeah, I think outside of the ace from MLuo, the rest of it, or not the rest, but like a lot of them were definitely free kills of her just standing on the top of the staircase, literally just playing a rank game of somebody that's playing against a team that's seen Abyss for the first time and played Abyss for the first time, taking zero mid control and just getting caught from rotating A to B. Because B was definitely the plan there for Refrag to hit a site after time after time after time in that spot and getting value out of that too.
Yeah, and I mean, looking back at this, it was a game that, for quite a bit of it, I mean, we did get to see potential coming out from MESO Millionaires. It wasn't as rough to watch for the entire thing, but when things started to take a turn, and more so when we saw Refrag popping off, you know, there's one round in particular, round 12, that we wanted to go back and talk about.
Yeah, this round was just like the epitome of when you can tell that it clicked for Refrag about the aggression, because they were on kind of a weird buy. A couple players had these Spectres or Stingers, we had Vandals, we had Sheriffs, and as you can see, the 3 players pushed up into this A site. They took this aggressive map control. They managed to get a pick onto Habibti, and just like that, they knew that MESO's would react. And how would they react? They would go through that mid, speed up more towards that B, but they knew that this was gonna happen. Literally, the plan was set in stone, because they have MLuo set up here as a Sentinel and Kazir on the Sova on the other side ready. This was a free pick, almost getting a second one for MLuo, but it didn't matter, because every single protocol that was set in place for Refrag went out beautifully. The rotations came in really quick. They ended up winning this round on kind of a weird buy, and the Luvali and MLuo were just set up on the site to get those picks and absolutely shut it down. So those are a lot of the little macro plays that we see from teams to kind of adapt and come out on top. And for Refrag, I think this is also where the momentum kind of shifted for them to start winning out rounds on their attack side.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was missing from MESO's Millionaires, that triple push there that we were just talking about before. That was coming out here for Refrag. But on top of that, when you switch to the attack side for Refrag, they called it perfectly here for Wide and Uber. Millie was just moving into the sites very confidently, because she could actually count on the support of the util that was coming from the double initiator hit from the KO, the flashes, and the recon darts. So many pings came through where she was dashing in her smoke. Technically, out in the open should be an easy kill for the defensive side, but because there was great util around that, she could actually play around as soon as she pops out of her smoke to get 2 or 3 kills and get great entries for the team of Refrag.
And 2 people we have to talk about a little bit more, who we actually talked about quite a bit in the opener of the show, but we really have to highlight again. We have to talk about MLuo. We have to talk about Luvali here, because they were 2 people that, when we've seen all of these maps, when we've seen all of these games, they have been difference makers. They've been able to lead the charge, and this was absolutely no exception here for Abyss here, Athena.
Yeah, I feel like we spoke about these two players not only being rocks, but being super consistent, mechanically extremely talented, but also the way that they were playing as a team on their retakes and being able to kind of come forth and add a little bit more to that team chemistry made it what was worth. The rest of the team, 3 players pushing through that A main, that round that we literally just talked about, they left Aluvli, Emlo, and the Sova on the other side of the map afterwards. So it was like they knew that playing into these 2 players and really utilizing them to their strengths as players that can just hold their own and literally just hold down sites. I mean, at some point we saw Emlo just getting 3Ks after 3K, just sitting on site, not even doing anything, just literally taking aim fights. It was insane.
I mean, you're talking about players that can hold their own, and and just this entire team definitely up for that category, but you have to talk about that moment near the end of the game and talk about Emlo's ace, because, I mean, fans, when you're talking about a pillar for the team and someone who can hold her own, I mean, Emlo's got that ice cold blood in her veins.
Exactly. When the protocols aren't working right and you need players to step up, you could definitely see that Emlua has it, and White basically was very excited by that one tap that came through. I mean, you just saw it, 1 bullet remaining, gets that headshot. The camera's a little iffy, but it does still give the information to know how she could lock down to get that iBuyPower ace. So back then, again, looking at what we were mentioning before we got into the series, when you're actually forcing players to play one-on-one against players like Refrag, they could fight back with the same type of firepower that that a team like MESO's Millionaires, a less practiced team that has a lot of skills, could just react the same way and fight the same way. So I think if you want to give a chance here for MESO's Millionaires to push this into a 3rd map, you need to add that XR protocol to have the instant trade on that second body that has to swing out in the right timing to win the fight.
Well, down 1 in the series, and the situation could not be more dire, because looking at the next map, not only did they lose their map choice, but they're now going over to Lotus. And looking at a team of 5, Athena, this is not something that we've seen coming out from MESO Millionaires, whereas Refrag, I mean, there's a lot from them that this is pretty good.
I think Lotus is such a dangerous playground for Mesos to kind of let go through, because we've seen Refrag be absolutely dominant on this map, especially now that we've seen those 2 players, Aluvli and Emlo, kind of warm up on that first map. Literally, Emlo at some point in every single map that every single time, that they've played Lotus, has just been jiggling and taking dry peaks on that Lotus long seaside and been winning almost every single fight towards Mound and been holding down the sites insanely well as a Sentinel. The rotations as a team for Refrag have also played super well into that. They have really quick protocols. This is one of their most polished maps. So for me, getting Mesos on this map, unless they have some trick up their sleeve, I'm not sure what to expect other than a Refrag stomp.
That's exactly what I'm thinking here, Athena. There has to be something up the sleeves, because if you're looking at MESO's Millionaires, the core of this team, being Animal, Teddy, and Habibti, haven't played this map since GC2, when they also still had Elise and Angel, but there was, I think there was a Raze in there, it was a Breach, so they still have utility that breaks like a double Sentinel composition that is usually played here on the side of Refrag. So maybe there's a little bit something there when you could win the War of Attrition in terms of utility, but in terms of the game plan, I wouldn't be surprised if they come with a composition that is unorthodox that might throw Refrag for a loop.
I mean, the only thing that I kind of would really put up towards Mesos is that their defaults are so good. And the thing about Lotus is when you're playing, because it is a 3-site map and because you know that there's probably going to be 1 Senti, even the double Senti comps, then you're going to have to break a lot of util, default really slow, take some sort of map control on that attack side and be able to push and pull. And Mesos does a really good job of that. It's just a matter of how aggressive they can do it.
Heading into this map, when we were talking about the unknown quantity of MESO Millionaires on Lotus, heading to the Agent Select, and you're talking about thinking it was going to be something a little bit unorthodox, but when I look over to this other side, all eyes there. Did we get an Agent Roulette here? What is this? This is awesome.
Hey, maybe you guys could tell which player it was that I was talking about now.
Yeah, I'm down for it though, right? Because instead of bringing a KJ, it's going to be a chamber. The playstyle is going to be slightly different, but this is also going to be able to get rid of that early utility of this Fade and Raze in the early rounds when the chamber to just come out and TP away. So I think it's just Mlua playing with full confidence. I think the chat always pops off whenever they see Mlua on the POV because they know that she could actually shoot some players down quite easily. So I'm quite excited to see how Refrag is going to play this chamber around this Missiles Millionaires that I mentioned before. This Breach and Raze is still there.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I'm not a big fan of the Breach that much against a team like Refrag just because it's a little bit more predictable. But again, we can see how both these teams play, Sierra.
I'm so excited for this one. When it was MESO Millionaires that were thinking we're going to see something wild and wacky, Refrag keeping us on their toes. And this is a game 2 situation. When we talk about MESO Millionaires, this is do or die here in the lower bracket. Can they get the upset and take us into a map 3? Have to find out, and we'll send back over to our casters for Lotus.
The chamber. Been a little while, been a minute, Wyatt, since I've seen Chamber make his way onto Lotus. And frankly, it's hard enough to kind of follow what Refrag are playing on this map, because I think like the last 5 times they've all been different compositions. More recently though, they have started to work the Deadlock into their comps, but it was Emily on Deadlock last time we saw them on this map. She almost drops 30. Now she's on the Chamber.
I mean, look, they did buff Chamber. Recently, the TP radius is increased, you know? You can go a little bit further, so that's cool. And you're right, Femlua got 29 playing Deadlock. Surely she gets at least 30 playing Chamber on Lotus. It only makes sense.
This is why it's stunned, folks, for those wondering. It's, yeah, again, very curious to see how it sort of pans out here. Straight away, we're going to see MESO's Millionaires, though, on that attack side. It's a pretty quick probe over towards B, but Trademark will potentially go off here as they make their way over. Bunny be forced away, Decayed down now. Rivers Ball going to send those Seekers on in, but Habibti lingers a little too long over the paint shells. My goodness, Refrag are brimming with confidence still.
I'm a little bit stunned as to the play that was being attempted by MESO. I've never really, I don't think I've ever seen a team go for that. Like, sending 2 players as a fake into B, like they're executing there, but then the majority of the players with the spike going out A and trying to flank them in Baby Door? Like, normally you would just hit B and have the spike and then, you know, send your late wrap like 1 player through rubble to flank Baby Door, right? But that was a wild attempt. It just got destroyed by Refrag though, because they shut down the players in B so quickly. It was an interesting attempt.
Oh, what an aggressive line! What an aggressive line! She's able to get out, of course, with the rendezvous, which he had pushed well and truly up onto Mound there. Yeah, that Deadlock wall has to be cleared.
Noya is good, and that was a free kill for Kazler. Second one pretty much just as easy as the first with the gun advantage. Everybody from MESO is going down. That is just way too clean, way too easy for Refrag. Putting himself in prime position to win their map pick. Make it into that top 4. A little bit closer to the grand final.
I like the idea, though, of the barrier thrown out there by Deadlock as well. You know, it keeps Emlo at an optimal range, I suppose, if she's really going to be contending hard for Mound. Pretty quiet couple of rounds here for MESO's Millionaires. Yet to find a kill. But the C site now going to be, well, not held at all, really. We'll see what Emlo is trying to make happen here with his push-up out of B. There will be a KJ turret to spot this, though.
And one serious issue here for MESO is the fact that they have so many light armors against the Outlaw, but luckily for them, they've been able to penetrate that C site and should be able to get the spike down for free without having to contend with it at all, but they will have to contend with this massive flank. Look at all of the players from Refrag. All 5 of them are coming from the direction where the attackers spawn, in fact.
Little flood retake from a flank angle. MESO's here want to play off the side if they can, over towards Halls primarily. Animal here, they might be the first to take some contact, but that paranoia comes in. Kazler wants to post up just to the side of that exit. And there it is, it's the Sadhak wall. I'm going to go and throw it out over towards Waterfall. Animal goes down here. Habibti, though, at least able to trade out, and it's the better weaponry here from MESO's Millionaires that give them the edge with MO. I've seen this somewhere before. 9 less health this time around, and she goes for a 1v3 and pulls up short.
That was set up in a very cool way, honestly, from MESO. On the fly, playing aggressively from Waterfall. That Guardian, maximum bullet penetration. Bunny Bee just spamming through the wall onto anyone trying to defuse the spike. You know, their head just peeking above the rail as well. Cool way to flip the map. Little in-the-moment decision from MESO nets them that round win. But now they have to contend with the full buy, a showstopper as well for Castle.
Possibly you want a slightly deeper wall over towards Link, but I digress here. Is Emlo able to find Teddy? Not able to get out of that position, though. It was Rendezvous active, but they will be dropped where they stood. Aluvali's been ridiculous recently, and especially over that previous map. Very, very hard to shift. Of course, those Seekers come in and won't really get any penetration towards that C site. Now, we might have an audible call here by MESO's Millionaires to pull away from this. And Aluvali emerges at just the right time.
I'll chalk that one up to good intuition and not having any suspicious potential, I don't know.
Check her PC!
Yeah. Gonna chalk that, it's the intuition, surely.
The timing was immaculate there. Aluvali, though, rather, takes a chunk of damage there as we have seen MESO's Millionaires leave their fade over towards the seaside for a little bit longer, and she still wants to hang around. Havibti not convinced that it's over towards A. Millie and Riv have a crossfire here. This is dangerous, but Riv has Util in her hand right now. Maybe her shoulder might be revealed. Can you play off this? The fault line is all over towards Baby Door. Made it hard for Riv to follow up on it. Flash turned, spray desperately. Slandy lives with 14 points of health. Now the 2v2. MESO's Millionaires has some ground to cover, and Castle was hoping to intercept that. Gonna be caught out by that rolling thunder, though. Can at least get ahead of the aftershock, and Slandy, with just a few seconds left, should be able to get this plant down. But Aluvali has no reason not to just hard swing this and go for the fight. And so she does. It's Refag breaking back in here, taking their third.
That just gets as chaotic as it possibly could. The rolling thunder just to try to cross Baby Door is outrageous. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, though. A good attempt to get to the site when the time was just so low. But unfortunately for MESOS, it's back to poverty. The millions, nowhere to be found. We've only got shares. A couple bulldogs.
No millions. No.
No millions.
I love that. That
Hundreds
showstopper
barely.
from Kasler was so good. Oh, man, she went for it. Love to see it. Okay, looks like we're going to do this. We were thinking about throwing that barrier down and setting Emu up there over on Mount. She's going to be busy. Rendezvous will get her back into Waterfall by the looks of things, but Kenny already making the way out by Rubble. Elsewhere, Emlo finds 3. She literally sprays them down. No need to get out. Now the spike is left in no person's land. MESO's Millionaires have to extricate themselves from the A side of the map here. And try and recover it. Millie at least able to get hers there. Leaving Teddy all alone.
I was so locked in on how well Teddy and Animal were playing that fight over towards A, swinging off of each other nicely, finding the picks. Just doesn't matter. They get that advantage, but Mluo, slightly better advantage when you just get 3 kills. And also don't die. That's just a +3. That's pretty good. And you know what I would hate to see here is if Aluvali uses the Annihilation to kill Teddy to end this round.
That would be in keeping with the way that Ultimates have been treated recently, yes?
Oh, no.
She goes for it. Well, you know what they say, Wyatt? Easy come, easy go. Next one will probably be up in a couple of rounds. Won't be too long. Teddy with 51 points of health has to swing a high-low setup. Tries to break it there with some shoulder picks. Spike recovered, but of course, no ultimate available here for Teddy. Eventually, they'll be run down. Emlo exits the round with 4 kills.
Getting a little bit closer to the 30. It's doable. 6 and 2. We can
30,
get there.
30's on the
We
table.
can get to 30. It's back on the table. It wasn't looking like it was on the menu at all, but now after 4K. Okay. Yep. Nice little lineup.
Just the AD strafing.
The game relatively simple.
Emlo just trivialized that entire process over towards Mount there.
It really did. Like, I mean, in the meantime, Mesos were dominating over at Rubble, playing it nicely, trading each other out, and yeah, who cares? Actually, who cares?
All right. Tries to have a crack here with the Tour de Force. Yeah, a little bit of awkward spot there, hit by every piece of U2 under the sun. Went for the shorty. The showstopper hit a little bit harder. Now, with Baby Door cleared to some degree, Mesos Millionaires want to hit this A site, but Millie wants to play ahead of this util. Oh, the second on Annie is huge. Habibti at least playing that anchor position way back towards Rubble, though. He's able to slow this down. Now it's up to Riv IGL to fight here for it. She's going for it as well. Before Illuvely comes in off that rotate, she has to deal with Habibti. Now we've evened the odds. Spray down through the box, leaves Slandy a little bit worse for wear. Maybe we get a double fate here between the two of them. And yes, Slandy hopes to get involved in that, but she's still swinging. And it would have been up to Teddy. That is a nutty little retake from Refrag. They are so confident on Lotus.
Illuvely looks so clean on the deadlock right now. Doesn't matter who's playing it, Illuvely, Emluo. Both kind of just goated, evidently. Riv is only one away now from getting Nightfall 2. This was a great opening, though. That fault line coming through. You're called by Bunnybee while the showstopper is going in to catch the chamber out of the teleport. Such a great way to find the first kill. And it just doesn't even end up mattering.
Really, nothing Emluo could have done in that round. She really at the mercy of the util being aimed at her. 5-1 here on defense for Refrag. Always feels pretty good to have that nice defense lead on Lotus. But here we go, a bit of a pop play out towards Rubble now. Mesos Millionaires heavily favored on that quadrant of the map. 4 players making their way towards A, and there's just the singular Riv. Now to be backed up by Millie TPing in.
Yeah, they were getting slowed down a bit by Tree, and in the meanwhile, double push, both Sentinels. Refrag all the way out to this mound, and they just catch the furriest kill onto Animal. Now the rest of the team know that they're trapped in, they know they're ensnared. All angles, spam coming through. Everything is just working in Refrag's favor. Literally everything.
MMD here as well, able to find 2. That is big. Finally even in the odds here for Mesos Millionaires. And they have the time to get this plant down properly. It's a little ponderous, this late wrap here with Illuvely and Emluo. Maybe concerned about like a back Rubble presence like we saw from Habibti in the past. The Castler would be advised to keep their head down here for the next second or so. Habibti low, still able to take that one. What a stunning headshot. Emluo at least able to finish the job though. Now another clutch situation. 7 bullets in the chamber. There will be a tickle here. Get the aftershock straight away, and Teddy is waiting for it. Great recovery by Habibti there in Tree. Getting Mesos Millionaires back into the round.
And that is just all on the shoulders of Habibti. That perfect timing on the swing out of Tree. Refrag did everything right. They had the entire team trapped after this kill over on the minimap towards A, towards Rubble. Finding the second with the smoke, shutting down the baby door pivot, and it's just this moment. Riv caught unawares, eyes not on Tree. Habibti hasn't really had an opportunity to do much in the way of highlight-worthy plays so far in this series, but so far in the main event has displayed some really high-level individual skill. Has that crisp, snappy aim. Hits some really sick headshots.
Crucially, they've gotten Refrag down to an eco, but it doesn't seem to matter to Emluo.
What is that?
2 with the Headhunter. She's still got plenty in the chamber. I wouldn't want to be challenging this at all, but Teddy goes for a TP past the dark cover. Again, gun advantage here for Mesos Millionaires, something they definitely want to abuse. Haunt dealt with, still no plant. Push here coming out of Waterfall, still no plant. Slandy gets off of it. Has able to find Bunny B, and Mesos Millionaires men have a chance to plant at all. Teddy can't hold it down. And a thrifty, a back-breaking thrifty here, won by Refrag.
And their back has been actually decimated off that thrifty. They recover an unwinnable round on the previous and just get mulched against the ecos. Refrag, listen, obviously, when your chamber gets 2 headhunter kills straight away, that definitely helps. But credit to how the team played that situation after that, the pace that they flooded back into the site, comboing that util with Gravnet with a Haunt, all of that coming through so fast was lovely.
Haunt gets a ping there from MESO's Millionaires. Teddy with the confirm. The TP into the smoke rig. Of course you're not ready for that. That play absolutely encased in audacity. Teddy really wants to go forward, beckoning the rest of MESO's Millionaires into the site. Now Millie might be able to disrupt. The timing is good. Backs away, has the challenge and finds yet another one. Kazza with the showstopper here. A decent position in theory to have made use of it, but it's Habibti to find another multi-frag. Below them. I don't think they realize Slanding is waiting, and Aluvali jumps into their arms.
Down A.
Amluo, as always, online for the 30 bomb, by the way. To go 1v2. Unarmored target. That was stunning. Animal's head goes rolling. And Amluo was still armored up. Ready to rumble. Habibti is absolutely the savior of MESO's Millionaires in this map. Some unreal moments.
No doubt. Locked in. 2 heroic rounds. 2 heroic 3Ks at that. It was a great first kill from Teddy. Finding that cheeky angle, getting out of the dark cover to catch the cross. A lot of ultimates expended too, but they end up being more close to 1. Mluo's still on for 30 though, man. It's still
on for 30.
Doable. 12 and 6. We're still on for 30.
Let's see just how much that tally changes in a round like this. Once again, refrag. Sent back down to the doldrums of a awkward buy. At least a Vandalo to be picked up from Emlo, owing to a sheer dominance over these last 9 rounds. The Rolling Thunder this round up for Slandy though. Tour de force here for Emlo. This is an aid, of course, designed to clear rubble. Paranoia, though, comes in, so MESO can't really play off this. But if he does get out of that smoke, they do push that at least. There's obviously a secondary layer here. Fan out now over towards rubble. Kassler not quite ready for it. Shows a little bit of himself to Bunny B. And refrag find another ridiculous thrifty here. They're on the back foot big time. Millie forced the TP away. Thought they tuck. And instead they're going to set up a impromptu crossfire. What is going on? How able to get a kill there is just ridiculous.
You can't let them get one. You can't let them get one there. That's crazy. That is so ridiculous.
30 seconds left.
Haunt broken by 2. Oh no. Mluo on this flank. With the KJ down.
Oh no, you're right.
Do they know? Are they aware?
Olivia's heard all of this.
And it also won't matter now. So all
It ends up being a great call.
It is.
10 seconds left.
Teddy here will fall. And we'll have the one with the hero rifle here. 2v4, Rolling Thunder comes out. Yeah, that really is going to complicate the situation. Very quickly, Bunnybee's wrapping around for a flank here. Makes the prospect of saving these guns a little harder for refrag. But given their confidence level in this game, I don't think that's really on the agenda. They're going for it. All picked off by Slandy. Very nice. Conservative shoulder peeks there. Emluo spoiled for choice when it comes to targets, and none of them are get in the way of their bullets.
Habibti with that last kill as well does have the Nightfall now. So a half that has been scrappy, chaotic to say the least, could end up being relatively close. Even though refrag, I think for the most part, have displayed the better play so far.
Round 11. On the docket here. Annihilation available for Luvali. Perhaps she'll consider using it in less troll circumstances here. So one way does get deployed, but refrag have no interest in actually playing off of it. I have Millie tucked here. Feel like she's always good for one. Even the most compromising situation, she gets away with.
Nightfall, now the ultimate as well. Showstopper. Or Bunny B after picking up that orb. Not able to find the first, huh? Millie's just lost in the sauce in that situation, though. Still goes down without claiming one.
Assel's finding one, but gets traded out. Riv just on the wrong foot there as she comes forward. No way Teddy was going to get caught inside that annihilation. Now, story of the game. Emily with the tour de force here. After, of course, having bought up the Vandal in the previous round, knowing she'd have a more than serviceable weapon due to her ultimate here. Not be ready for how far up Teddy is. Flick shot unsuccessful. And MESO's Millionaires have clawed these rounds back.
really just bringing things back to basics. Just these big site executes. They're trading out for each other well. Obviously, there is a ton of individual skill on this team. It's a bunch of very experienced players. Far more experienced than those on Refrag. I mean, a number of the Mesos players have been competing in Game Changers on multiple signed teams for 2-3 years at this point. You know, up against a player like Riv, their first year competing in Game Changers here. First year as an IGL competing as well. Oh my god, what is that? This is, I mean, I just don't even know what to say.
How has she gone and done that? Teddy's down to 15. Bunny Bee just disintegrated. Every time we see Emma make her way over towards that seaside, she is getting far more early action than you bargained for there.
Calling my bot.
Mrs. Millionaires say, you know what? Are we going to go where the chamber is not? Actually, yeah, we think that's a great idea. Seekers will clear tree here. That'll be smoked out, though, by Millie. So, Meso's a little bit slower, making their way through this. They try to seize on the other side of it, but no one's waiting. Refrag also getting in position on upper. That's the paranoia coming in. Millie hoping to play off this now, but it's just a Guardian to hand. Teddy going down. Emma, she finds yet another one. She finishes what she started at the beginning of the round. Kazla, always so active in these fights defensively. Finds yet another one, and it's up to Slandy. 1 versus 2. Paint shells here would do the job. Slandy gets clear of them now. 3 points of health. A Guardian to contend with, and Emma. It looks like the reincarnation of a frag demon herself right now. What a clutch for Slandy. Have to win those. And Mesos Millionaires end the half with a brilliant individual showing.
I'm losing my goddamn mind. This is just individuality on full display. Multiple clutches. Multiple. To get this game tied up for Meso. I mean, how is that flick hit?
I mean,
and then just patient on the angle, crosshair placed perfectly. Kazler takes a stroll right into the bullet. And it starts off with that headshot collat from Emluo as well. What is going on, man? This has just been chaotic as hell, but in the best way possible.
I mean, from Emluo, we're starting to approach fluorescent levels of ridiculousness. Some of this early round play. Confidence and the ability to execute. And yet, Mesos Millionaires, Slandy and Habibti especially, helping get them back in the game. Now we'll see what Refrag, as a team who love this map in general, have got for us. A good old-fashioned shoot him in the head. It's a fair way to start, of course. Emma ends up getting traded out.
Refrag, they want to go for this fast pivot over towards A. At least it looked like it for a moment. But they decide against it. They've given up that space towards Mound, though.
We saw them on Abyss with these slower rounds. After a first awkward attempt, really start to dial in and find a lot of success on them. Even short-handed in some of those retakes.
Satchel out.
Blast back here, we'll get you across, but Teddy's waiting with a classic. Luverly is able to trade that instantly. Awkward, but Millie wins out. Millie has to honestly take the award for the most unreasonable situations that she's been able to extract herself from. That's by far not the worst. And now it's Habibti and Slandy. We'll split up. One by a waterfall, and they're about to discover a deadlock wall to make this retake even harder.
To have to waste some serious time looking mouse one on that little wall, and the fight is just taken to Habibti and Slandy. Can't even move, just caught with the grab there, dealing with the haunt, dealing with the dark cover. Maybe can get in off the stun flash. Well, you know, got in, sure, but
well,
we've got to stop there.
We've got to, I mean, again, we have to have the perennial conversation about playing retake against the deadlock, right? Habibti obviously doesn't know that the barrier for deadlock is put up there at waterfall, but she, you know, on a pistol round especially, she's got no chance of getting through that, especially not without being detected. It essentially, you know, gives Refrag a very easy way out of the round.
Yeah, as soon as the spike goes down, if your deadlock is alive and you get that wall placed, the barrier mesh, as well as the trips, GG. It is really tough to retake against that. Really tough, an understatement. It's honestly a nightmare. Not particularly fun.
Before the smoke comes down, The curtain comes down on Slandy for the round. And we were just able to navigate that comfortably. Honestly, that was a push-up. MESO trying to get Slandy inserted for a fault line play that someone at stairs maybe could make use of. Now we are deeply embedded. This is a hard A-site stack, so the correct call here made by MESO's Millionaires as far as we can tell. Unless there's like a mid-round audible here from Refrag and head to B, but you'd be surprised to see that on anti-eco. The tree, is it clear? Do you check everything? Well, that was pretty methodical, I think, from Kessler, and still Habibti's able to win things out, but ends up being a 1-for-1.
Backside, there's still 3 players. Nade timing's pretty good.
The grab net. They had to extricate themselves from that, and now Refrag got a good confirm about the number of plays here, but they don't just dive for B straight away. Are they trying to provoke a rotation out of A? That might be the case. A little pump fake, perhaps? They see Bunny B, and they still want to go over towards B.
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Okay. Animal has to challenge that one there, and Teddy, of course, with the weaker weapons. Not much Refrag. Really have to worry about it in a round like that, and he did good macro play, realizing that A was pretty heavily populated, and they bounce out.
Yeah, slowing things down, players out of their entrenched positions. They find that pick and then just commit to a nice easy pivot towards B. Well called, good decision making from Riv, their IGL. Full buy now for MESO. Going up against the Outlaw. They always like to buy a couple sheriffs, something along those lines in the second round, so it leaves them susceptible to the one shot, being forced to play with light armors.
Tempting for Emlo there.
And luckily, Anim had one of the heavy armors. Otherwise, she'd be dead, man.
But good. That's a great way to punish the shoulder peak. Now, knowing this, Refrag here maybe considering leaning a bit more heavily into the C side that's populated by a mere 10 points of player health. With Animal, of course, sitting back behind some of her util. Just the one nano swarm there. Lambot does get triggered, but removed. Here comes a paranoia. It's going to make it harder for Animal to get out of here. This has to really be a full retake. And Teddy, Illumini, as she pulls out of that B side, Teddy just serves themselves up.
And now we've got that barrier mesh down that's watching way deep on the flank, actually. So Refrag can focus their attention forward. They want to fight in the site together. Play this a bit more actively, and when it gets scrappy, you can be damn sure that Annihilation is going to come out from Illuvali.
That's really going to disrupt things here. All of a sudden, Mesos have another thing to focus on, to worry about. Great peak time in there for Animal. I think we might fall back to play from Mount here. And Illuvali doesn't catch anyone inside that Annihilation. Riv is anchoring here. They know it. Fault line now to try and catch them out, but Riv still gets rid of Animal. Bear in mind, a gun round here for MESO's Millionaires. Completely and utterly disregarded by Refrag. Taking themselves to 9 and scooping up all those nice rifles.
They play that post plant so well. I love that with the weaker weaponry. They stay together, fighting in the site, picking up those close angles, allowing the delay from the deadlock to force MESO to have to come to them and take the fights in those kind of close quarter ranges around Bend. That was nicely handled. And still on the board, it's Emluo and Illuvali. Just the two-headed goat of this team. They're just carrying, man. They're so good. The 2 pickups that this team had, the 2 roster swaps, paying dividends.
You know, I don't know how Teddy was able to win that fight out there at C with a Bulldog, but they've done a darn good job. This early round action, though, we see MESO's pushing into these extremities, and for that, Emlo more than happy to sit back and wait. The headhunter will be slaked. It's all about Teddy with nothing but the Bulldog. I have a good feel for this, and yes, we will see Refrag head over towards this A side of the map, but this is a round you expect us to let go. Know that Refrag getting to 10 rounds on the attack side of Lotus. It is a grim prospect for MESO's Millionaire.
Some magic from Teddy, but that will not be the case. Riv closes things out and carries the Nightfall into this next round. The economy is completely out of control. And for MESO, theirs is susceptible to being broken after this next full buy round.
One enemy remaining.
I mean, the way that Abyss went, it's really a map that we feel like MESO's Millionaires had a decent position for, but having their ascent banned out. Also, MESO's choosing to ban Haven themselves here, which is interesting. 6-2 over GC3. Vine, of course, would have been the decider, which really is a tough one to call, but I just needed that first map. That's a tough break for Bunny B. And they were able to get out scot-free. There would have been no chance of reprisal, even if there was another player towards A.
The off angle as well, and it just doesn't even matter. Teddy clear, the paranoia is perfect. I mean, should go down with ease. At least does get her one.
Doors open here. Trademark thrown over towards the B side, so we're definitely going to be hitting C here. Refrag are just going to have good early warning mechanisms. And of course, they can barrier down here wherever they want to go for that retake. Nice timing from Animal, though. The rest of Refrag do get away. There might be something here for Emloy. They're at 70 health. Wanting to play off a sound cue, but they have to have heard now. There's two players here. Going for it. The audacity.
What?
The sheer audacity. To try and take a fight like this, and Aluvali can capitalize, or at least attempt to. Habibti, though, too experienced to crumble in a moment like that. Horn cleared, Nightfall thrown out. Riv does not need to hear to find the head. And it's going to be a 1 versus 1 now. Riv has also developed the Nightfall. She's going to throw it down and find it does not connect onto anyone.
No targets.
Just doesn't know where to look at this point. Slandy could be anywhere, but Riv's intuition, excuse me, is leading them in the right direction. Fault line dodge.
She knows now, baby.
Did they really?
That is ridiculous. I suppose Riv triangulates the approximate position of Slaney based on the angle that the fault line came in. And that was all the information that she needed.
She's up glasses. Actual nerd.
One enemy. Bring them down.
Habibti tried so hard there. These rounds have been, so many of them, down to the wire. But it's Refrag coming out on top. I don't know how many times you can just mention Emluo and Aluvali, but my god, man. I mean, they have just completely taken over the server. 2 maps in a row. Just unstoppable.
11-6. The economy shaky at best here for Meso's Millionaires. Half armor on all of them. At least that Killjoy utils able to be distributed around this A side for Animal. She herself rather wants to step up in stairs. Nemo not quite quick enough to punish that shoulder peek. Kazla here with the double face. Bunny B ends up walking into that one, and the timing for Habibti, the spacing, such that Meso couldn't find a trade there at least. About that, Aluvali on the rope, able to find what looked like a pretty comfortable kill, and now pushing into spawn. Teddy, though, ready for it again. The Bulldog Menace. They've been pretty impactful, even with the weakened weaponry over this map. And Slandy handles Millie. Now we have a 3v3.
Yeah, Refrag are getting a little bit ahead of themselves, taking duels in poor positions. Solo efforts going awry.
One enemy remaining.
There's Habibti left. And Emluo, of course,
I mean,
finds 3.
what can
Tell me how
you
you
even
really feel.
say?
Match point.
I think I mean, I don't know. I'm not good at expressing my emotions, Mitch. Certainly not in a public setting like this. There's a lot of pressure. But I will tell you that I feel like Emluo pretty good at Valorant. The aim, pretty good as far as what I've seen. Got a little tap at the end, kind of decent.
Labs, man.
Kind of all right,
Okay.
I suppose. 24 and 11, not bad. 19 and 9, that's pretty good too.
We're on track for 30 if they lose the round.
Yeah,
point that out.
We're no longer on track for 30 because they're playing too well, actually. Unfortunately.
Oh, man. Me when I make it hard on the stat pad. With the smoke outside that walls. Here comes Bunny B. Nice little double. Emlo goes down there.
My territory.
We're able to turn it into a trade. Annihilation from Aluvity. Well, look, definitely not connecting. That one definitely more speculative, though, without a lot of information about the MESO setup over at that B site. They seem to have found their footing in this round, at least. Teddy with the TP forward, staying out of the sight line. Hoping to take the fight, but at very least gets the confirm of 2 more players over towards Mound, and through the smoke deals with Aluvali. Millie sees here. Not an issue, apparently, as Habibti's head just gets popped off. And Animal, you'll note, working with a Bucky here, and needs to get over to Mound to upgrade said weapon. They may not have a chance to do so because we, folks, are headed to A.
No way. Millie
Rawi.
is aware of this or catching
Teddy's aware.
There's no
Teddy's
way.
aware.
There's just no way. I would have said that we're getting an opportunity to get Emluo closer to the 30 bomb, but Emluo didn't get in the kill, so it actually is ultimately irrelevant in that pursuit. But still the pursuit of getting us to overtime, very relevant for MESO.
Teddy's been pretty good. I mean, they've had to spend most of this map rotating off of sites, in post plants, often through that spawn area. 20 kills to their name. Really solid performance for MESO's Millionaires Omen player. But now, I feel like I've seen this one before. Mound presence here for refrag, and of course that one way that will have to be played around. Kazleb not respecting it, gets punished for it. Easy for Teddy to take that kill.
Really taking over the game on defense. Emluo trying to deal with the turret. More difficult than time that she's had shooting random players at off angles in the head for some reason. Oh, Bulldog spam. Luckily, teleport quick enough to get her back to safety.
We pop back through here. No, it's just contact through the smoke. And it's going to be at least crossfired here by MESO's Millionaires. They really do have plenty of advanced warning here. Frankly, Refrag have just walked up on this. Okay, flawless round here for MESO's Millionaires.
Man,
4 more to force that overtime.
Refrag has put them 1 foot out the door in this game, and they are trying to bash right back in. They are playing with a lot of confidence out of nowhere, just fighting forward together. Swinging aggressively. I'm not mad at that. I like to see it. The economy is finally getting to an honest place for Refrag. If the rounds keep coming, could get to a point where they'd have to be on a bad buy.
Will the gameplay become honest with the economy is the question from Refrag. Nope, forget about it. Just forget about it. Buddy B gets raw challenged with an operator in hand and absolutely sat down so hard there was a crater left behind. Landing with a shoulder peek. Emlo without a sniper in hand is not able to punish that, but still here come the cavalry. Refrag want to move up Habibti. God, she's been so impactful at slowing this momentum down. Sprays down for 2, down to 30 HP though. Millie's able to finish the job now. Teddy the next one to step up. Cerebral player. They've had a great series. And they're able to win out there as well. That is even the numbers now. Animal also sitting on a lockdown. Like, we haven't talked about that from KJ at all this game. And can you break through this 1v2 to stay alive in the series? The answer is no. Emlo, yet another one. Are we still on for the 30? No? I think we got pretty close.
27.
Okay.
We'll take
27.
We'll take it. Not too bad. What a performance from Emluo again on Lotus. Just seems to be the ruler of Lotus. 29 yesterday, 27 today. Not bad. Pretty decent showing. And for Refrag, though, this is them getting deeper in the Game Changers main event than they've gone before. Last series, it was a finish in 5th, 6th place, and this time they have at least made it to the top 4. And with the way that they're playing, would not be surprised at all to see them make it further than that. That was an impressive showing. And their 2 new pickups, I mean, just can't say enough about how much impact Emluo and Illumine are having on the server. Like, both of them have just been fantastic.
This team is shaping up as a really exciting prospect wire and have only improved over the course of the year in Game Changers. And they're not done yet here in GC3 either. We're going to go to a break, folks. When we come back, our desk is going to break things down and get us set up for the rest of the stakes as we continue with our lower bracket play.
Red Bull gives you wings. The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secretlab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you. Gamers, hybrid workers, artists. Backing your every move.
1, 2, 3. Wow. Boom. What?